Do you have a challenging Lightroom selection? Maybe the INTERSECT mask is the answer. Let's find out. Hello amigos, this is Pablo Garcia, the engineer photographer. Today we're going to talk about INTERSECT masks. Now, we had that functionality in Lightroom before. It didn't start with Lightroom version 11, but it was somewhat limited. Before we needed to add a local adjustment with the brush, with the grad filter, or with the radio filter, and then go and refine that mask using color range or luminosity range. And that basically was doing the INTERSECT function. But how does it work? So let's start with some basics. Let's say we have a picture and we make a selection. In this case, the selection is this yellow square or this golden square. And then we create a second mask with this blue ellipse. When we perform an intersection, we're trying to find out the area that is common between the two of them. If they don't overlap, if they don't have anything in common, the intersection will be empty. If they do have things in common, then the intersection will be limited to the area that both things have in common. So remember that. What is in common, or ideally, what do you want to keep when you create a mask? So let's provide some examples. Here I have this image I took at White Sands National Park in New Mexico a few months ago. And we have a blue sky, we have this yucca plant, and we have the white sand. Let's say I wanted to put a grad filter on the sky. So I go to masking, I'm going to create a linear gradient, and I'm going to put all the gradient all the way to the bottom. And as you can see, the gradient is also affecting the plant and is also affecting the sand. I want to limit the grad filter just to the sky. So what I can do is intersect with the sky, right? I want to keep only the sky. So I go to the Create New Mask box or window, and I have a couple of choices. On the three little dots, I can click there, and it says INTERSECT Mask, and it gives me all the different options. Or another easy way is you hold the Alt key, and you can see the add and subtract changes to intersect. So now I'm going to say intersect, and I'm going to intersect it with Select Sky. Now, it's going to take a few seconds to process. My computer takes about 8 or 10 seconds. It's not a very new computer. And in this case, we're going to see what kind of results it did. And you can see almost by magic, it did a great job of limiting the mask just to the sky. It cleared the section that was being affected in the sand, and also it cleared the plant. So if I turn off the sky, that was what I had before, and by doing the intersect with the sky, that's the final mask. And this is going to be a perfect mask for me then to do whatever adjustments I wanted to make on the linear grad filter. Let's do a second example. So I have here this flower, and what I want to do is I want to work on the petals. I don't want to work on the center. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a mask, and I'm going to select the subject, and hopefully it does a great job on selecting the flower, and I know it does. Here is the selection. Now what I want to keep are the petals. What I'm going to do is perhaps the color range. So I'm going to intersect with color range, and then select that range of colors. And there it is, almost by magic, right? It kept the petals, so now I can do whatever things I want to do, maybe increase the highlights, add a little exposure, reduce clarity to make them soft, increase the saturation a bit, and there you have it. Here is the overall mask. If I remove the color range that we intersected with, we selected the whole flower. By doing the intersect with the color range, I was able to then remove the yellow and the other areas of the flower that I didn't want to affect. So I showed you two examples in which we intersected two different masks. Can we intersect more than two? And the answer is yes. Let me give you another example. I have here this picture taken at Great Sand Dunes National Park. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to apply a linear gradient, something like that. But it's affecting the mountain as well. So I'm going to lower the exposure and I'm going to make it really blue. Now, I don't want the mountain to be affected. I want to keep the sky. I'm going to intersect with the sky. Intersect with select sky. And that will take a couple of seconds. And as you can see, it removed most of the mountain. It left this area here, didn't do a perfect job, but I can always erase that. But let's say in this example, I don't like what the linear gradient, because we changed the temperature and we darken it. It also affected the clouds. I want to protect the clouds from my selection. I want to keep the blue, but not the white of the clouds. So I'm going to do one more intersect. Again, press the Alt key, intersect. I'm going to intersect with the color range, and I'm going to select a range of blues. And here we have. Here is the mask. Basically, I removed the clouds from the selection. So now if I wanted to really add a lot more blue, you can see how the clouds are not being affected. And because I use the color range, I can even refine it a bit. And make sure that the clouds are not affected at all. Now, in this case, I intersect of 3 different masks to try to further refine what I wanted to keep. The question you may ask is there a limit to how many intersections we can make? And the answer is, I really don't know. I did 12 in a row, and I didn't seem to hit a limit. Now, I cannot think of a case in which I need to do that many. Perhaps 2, perhaps 3, maybe 4. I showed you examples with 2 or 3. But, play with it. And it gives us a lot of functionality, and you can use the intersect function with any of the masking capability that is available in Lightroom. Well, amigos, this is my first video 2022. I wish you a very happy new year and a year full of patience and, of course, health. And I'll leave you here with this video I did recently on a raw edit, a part of a new series on taking a raw edit from beginning to end. And don't forget to subscribe. Send me the comments, give me a like to help me grow the channel, and I'll see you next time.